original one.
Well, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Yeah.
And it's 12 o'clock.
Mr. Evans?
Here.
Mrs. Grant?
Here.
Mr. Paloma?
Here.
Mrs. Lee?
Here.
Mrs.
Here. As you peruse the agenda that you have, you've been notified that we have made some additions under new business. It is going to be B and C.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, go read through those.
No, that's not necessary. But I do need a motion to approve the agenda as with the additions. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead, roll please.
Mrs. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Paloma?
Yes.
Mrs. Lee?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes. Then we had been given the minutes of our February 15th meeting, and you have that in print in front of you. And I'm looking for a motion to approve those minutes as presented. Moved by Kent, is there a second? Second by Laura. Have the roll, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mrs. Grant?
Yeah.
Mr. Paloma?
Yes.
Mrs. Lee?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes. We'll move to our sponsors report. So hello, Mr.
Well, hello,
Sponsor.
Nothing a lot to report. We did meet last Thursday. And we kind of, just had a few minimal items to discuss because we're just gearing up for our May uploads. Our May upload reminder is quality practices, and our June upload is compliance. We are much further along with our compliance than we ever have been. That's the work of Ryan and Google Drive, and having everything electronically now. We used to get a binder like this, and then it became my problem. Now we have an electronic file, and it's going to be much nicer. So we are pretty excited. Keep in mind, I do not do the upload like I have in the past. Assistant principal has been way too busy to do that. So Pepper Wagner basically is organizing everything and will submit everything. What we have done along the way is dropped everything into different Google folders so that it is pretty much ready to go when needed. That date is late May. I think it's the last day of May actually for the quality practices. We did get
That was quality, right?
quality practices.
So what's the date in April? Did you say for compliance?
Compliance to June. That's in June.
Okay, all right.
And Ryan and I got interrupted one day with just my assistant principal duties. We're trying to get back together and get your text today. I just have OTES right now as well. And it's really ramped up and needs to be done by early April. So we will get that done. I just don't know if it's in the short term here, like we would want. But we do have until the end of June for that. But if we even get it done in late May, we're a month ahead of schedule because we were 11th hour the last quite a few years. The 3 years I was here doing it, 11th hour. So we are in great shape.
Very good.
Any
And
questions?
well, I just know with vacations and things that are coming up, if it's possible to get it done in May, that would be wonderful.
I free up in OTES, with OTES, I free up in mid-April. Like, OTES is different than even I had as a principal here. It's significantly different. It's significantly more work. So hopefully we can get something in there. But a lot of my time right now, if I have free time, is to pop in, walk through, and setting up pre-conferences and observations. So, yes, it is. But TCS is on the ball, so you guys are doing great with that.
Very good. And you're happy with, obviously, the Pebble upload has been a blessing.
Yeah, I think we had some things that worked out initially. I had some concerns about some things being overlooked, but with conversation with us as sponsors of Pebble and Wagner, I think that has all been corrected.
Because I know we had that at the beginning of the year, there were some things that we thought we had turned over that.
Well, and Diane's been a really big help too. She's been uploading some items, like for instance, March 16th, so tomorrow, our intent form for our interview with her. I went to do that about a week or 10 days ago, and Diane already had that.
Good.
So it was already filled out, everything was in its right spot. So at this point, I just checked the other day, we are 100% with being on time for our epicenter. But now the big items are coming.
Any questions? Very good, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Go Bears.
That's
Good job.
right.
All right.
Softball, track, and baseball.
Yeah, there you go. Move on. Okay, we'll move on to the board member and liaison reports. I have a few things to report under President's report. I met with Kelsey and Ryan, and we worked on financial planning that we're going to be talking about tonight. I think things are well prepared for us to at least contemplate some things. Under legislative report, we know that the legislature has been busy doing a number of laws pertaining to items not so much in the way of education at this point in time. Under finance report, I know Jackie was not able to attend their meeting. You didn't have anything on the report, did you, Jackie? Personnel, was there anything?
No, I have nothing.
And professional development and sponsor. Okay, we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
I'm gonna start with the packet with the minutes in front. Minutes. We've got our cash reconciliation for the month of February. You can see we ended the month with a fund balance of $5,573,315. Next, we've got our disbursement summary. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Nothing I felt needed pointed out. At the bottom of the second page of the disbursement summary, there is a larger payment to Trafera Holdings. That was for Chromebooks. After the outstanding disbursement, if nobody has any questions, we can move on to our monthly spreadsheet. In the upper right section, we've got our revenue for the month. We, in February, got to claim 100% FTE due to Senate Bill 229, and then that caused there to also be some catch up with, for example, our career tech funding. Not only did we get to claim the 100% FTE, but we also had worked really hard in January and February to get more and more of our students into our CBI program. So our funding skyrocketed. We had a payment of $852,635. So it's very large. This month is smaller, but it's still promising. Our total amount for the year this month is still really good. Expenses, we are still under like where we would expect to be percentage wise. So our expenses are falling well. And our February total for the month was a positive of $673,395. So good month. We
No
are,
parentheses.
we are still, I would like to just throw it out there, we're still cautious. I still have a fear that we're gonna get to June and the ODE is gonna be like, oh, by the way, I'm gonna take some of that back. I'm just cautious of the ODE in general, so.
New funding formula, right?
Yes, especially with the new funding formula, because right now they're still not giving a lot of answers, but as of the information that we have right now, our funding for the year still does look very positive. Next, we've got our March payment. So if you look to the furthest right column, all the way at the bottom, you can see it's a little less than half of what it was last month, but again, last month there was a lot of catch up with the career tech and things like that. The $402,802 payment is still very good. If you look to the left, you can see our annual amount is still above 6 million, which is very, very good. We're very happy to see that number stay high. One thing that was new is under the transfers, you can see the other adjustments. There's a negative of 47,000 and around 190,000 for the year. There's a report in about 2 pages that explains that a little further. That was new. That was new this month.
Just as a matter of history, Kelsey, so our payment was 402,000 plus in October or November of 2021. Do you recall when our payment was to, so people can compare?
I know in December it was around like 140,000.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
So-
So
Significantly
you
higher.
can see the difference, yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Again, we won't be able to claim 100% next year. Senate Bill 229 is just for this year, but we ran the numbers last month at our board meeting. We went through their detailed funding report and calculated the revenue for next year. Based on what the formula is telling us now, we did it with a 70%, 69% FTE, and the funding still looks promising. So as of right now, things still look good. The next page is the summary of our March payment. So again, if you look in column B, our total for the year before any paybacks and before retirement is above 6 million, significantly above 6 million. When you add in our facilities funding, that's line I, the 252,000, we go above 7. Again, they do take out the other adjustments, but that's without our other paybacks. So a little bit higher than what we saw at that bottom left, but still looking very good. Next, I included the base cost report. This is just an explanation if anyone was curious how they calculate our base cost amount, what they base the rest of our payment off of. And then finally, we've got this other adjustments explanation. So it looks like they're taking back money based on the catastrophic costs set aside for the statewide pool, and then also transfers to EHOB. So they took back money for those reasons. Every school pays to the catastrophic cost. So this is just the first month that they've had it taken out. Does anybody have any questions? We do have some further financial documents, but we'll take a closer look at those in executive session.
Are there any questions for council? If not, could I have a motion to approve items A through C in the treasury report? Jackie, is there a second? Second by Israel. Have a roll, please.
Mrs. Lee,
Yes.
Mr. Paloma,
Yes.
Mr. Edwards,
Yes.
Mrs. Grant.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes. Moving on to the superintendent's report and recommendations, Ryan.
Okay, thank you. To start off with, under informational items, the first item I'd like to review here is the current enrollment data. We have seen a slight increase in our enrollment, and that is with some additional graduates as well, so that's a positive sign. You can see here from the breakdown, which is in your folder, we have the breakdown here by school district. We have a current enrollment as of yesterday of 537 students. Of those 537, 534 of them now reside within the 6-county radius that we are now focusing on. 3 of those students are students who are granted in from outside of the 6-county radius. You can see the distribution there. Currently, Fremont is our most populated area, followed by Norwalk second and Sandusky third. Are there any questions over the enrollment numbers?
Thank you for that, though. It's really helpful to see the distribution across districts.
Next item for discussion here under information items is item B here, consideration for summer work days for teachers. So last year, as part of trying to help students recover academically, we did use some of our ESSER funds to offer teachers the opportunity to work over the summer for those who were interested in that. And if I remember correctly, Kelsey, the amount per day for 5-hour day was $250, correct? $250. Again, that was paid through ESSER funds, not through general funds. We do have those funds available again this year. And I just want to have some conversation. We can have an item for next month if we decide to put it on the agenda, approving that, but just want to have some initial discussion here to make sure that the board kind of, thinks that's something we should continue for this year.
So what are your thoughts?
We did it last summer, and the benefit was what?
How many students were served?
Well, we probably had, I would imagine, I don't have the exact number, probably about 20% of students working over the summer. But also what that does is it allows students to come in if they want some help, one-on-one help with our teachers. And I will say a lot of the students probably did work remotely over the summer, but some of them would come in for some help. But also those teachers would not only be providing one-on-one help for the students, but also grading student work and giving feedback through the virtual learning platform.
Just another consideration to add as well, there is a requirement with ESSER that 20% of your spending should be devoted toward learning loss, and the summer learning is kind of really emphasized. I think that's a really helpful and kind of promoted way to do that. So I do think it looks good as of our ESSER reporting.
And that's one great thing about Townsend is that students can continue to earn credits over the summer. They can continue to work. And this allows us to compensate our teachers for the work of grading and providing that feedback and help for our students.
We were flexible. If for some reason, beginning of the summer, we have 100 kids, and then a month later, we have 50. I mean, we adjust for that, or with those teachers.
I think what we did last year is we had a set number of days that each teacher could work over the summer. And then we determined who was interested in working and distributed those days so that we would have coverage on each day.
Oh, so
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday over the summer.
So then that way you
Put a schedule together.
can. All right.
Any other questions about that or comments about it? Pro or con? No?
I think so, especially if Kelsey says that it looks good with the ESSER fund.
And does our success program continue in the summertime?
Success plans.
No, Reach for
Oh,
Success.
Reach Success. He is, yeah, he's, you have to look at specific contract, but he's 40 years old. I think there's some part of the summer goes into at least June.
It was 9 months, so it wasn't the full year.
I'll have to review.
Okay.
and Get back to that.
I guess what I was thinking was it would be nice to be able to have students accessible to him, so he could continue to work through that extra month.
Yeah.
That we have also, so. All right,
Double check that.
and let's look at the board meeting.
Yeah, so item C there under informational items, board meeting start time in April. I know that traditionally we have gone 5 o'clock start for board meetings over the winter time, and then come the spring into the fall, we've extended that back to 7 p.m. Is that something the board would like to do starting in April, push that back to 7 p.m.?
That works better for me, especially with girls in sports and stuff like that, 7 p.m.
Does that work okay for you guys too? Okay, so we'll begin that in April.
Yep.
And I would also like to bring to your attention, June. We have a board meeting ordinarily scheduled in June. Let me just pull it up here real quick so I can give you the date. Our regular board meeting would be scheduled on June 21st. And we have an opportunity for both Kelsey and Ryan to be able to take some vacation time. So I wondered if anybody would have an objection to moving that board meeting in June to June 7th as opposed to June 21st. Would be at the same time at 7 o'clock. Is there any conflict that you see? And you don't have baccalaureate.
I'll let you know June 6th. No.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking baccalaureate is usually Wednesday or Thursday, isn't it? Because I figured baccalaureate would be sometime.
Yeah, it would be. It's a great question. I am not doing on that right now.
I guess
Okay.
the other option would be, if this works for everybody, is the 28th, the 4th Tuesday of the month as well. We could do.
Yeah, we could do that as well. I tell you what, look at your calendars, let me know what your preference is, if you would please just text me, and then we'll reset that meeting, but our meeting for June will definitely be rescheduled.
That's the 7th or the 28th.
Yes, the 7th or the 28th.
Just so happened that Kelsey pointed out that she might be going on vacation, and then our family was also considering vacation during that time, so I appreciate you understanding and working with
Why,
us.
certainly.
So you're looking at the 7th or the 28th?
Yes, that's correct. And I know with high school seniors, later may be better than earlier, but you guys let us know. 'Cause I'm okay with it. All right, we'll move on to, is there anything else, Ryan, under your report?
Not under informational items.
Okay, very good. Let's move on to new business.
All right, item A under new business is a recommendation to approve the awarding of high school diplomas following students upon successful completion of their graduation requirements as set forth by the state of Ohio. Michael Collinsworth, Titus Gardner, Braden Hodgkinson, and Kylie Hurt. And then item B is a recommendation to accept the bid from Think CSC for a total of $78,531.58 for networking, hardware, license, and installation for 3 years to replace obsolete hardware for the 2022-23, the 2023-24, and the 2024-25 school years, as determined by our E-rate matrix, which David's going to talk about here in a moment. Pending approval of our E-rate application, E-rate will discount this amount by 85%, and Townsend will be responsible for paying for 15% of this total. And item C goes along with this. It's a recommendation to accept the bid from Northern Buckeye Education Council, which is NWOCA Data Serve, for $13,107.62 for managed internet broadband service for the 2022-2023 school year, as determined by our E-rate matrix, pending approval of our E-rate application. E-rate will discount this amount by 85%, and Townsend will be responsible for paying for 15% of this total. So before we vote on these items, I would like David just to give us a summary of what these two items are about.
Okay. This tap water.
Just so you're familiar, E-rate is a federal program that pays for an activity for schools. We're fortunate at Townsend that we qualify for 85% federal pickup. And it couldn't really come at a better time. We're starting to have some end of life issues with access points, And internet connectivity, as you know, we're a virtual learning school, it's pretty important. It's not the glamorous stuff, you know, it's not fancy new computers, it's the pipes that make everything work. So, for part of E-rate, you have to go through the federal, bidding process. You have to follow all the federal rules. We went out to bid, it's all done formally. We have an E-rate consultant to make sure that we, you know, dot our i's and cross our t's. We had a pretty good response. Several were competitive. Our current hardware provider actually had the lowest bid for hardware. It's mostly off-the-shelf stuff, Cisco routers and switches and, you know, all that stuff that's in that closet there, all the access points that are all over the school. And then the second component is because we have a Meraki system, which is a Cisco system, that's a managed cloud server. So it's a combination of software and hardware that has to be managed and watched. When we went out to bid, several area companies did show interest. We have decided that due to cost and their extensive experience in schools, we're recommending that we go with Northern Buckeye Council, which is actually a conglomeration of it's a private public partnership between Milwaukee, which is an ITC and Archibald, and DataServe, which is a private business that has offices in Archibald and Westlake. They are also partners with Perkins, Margaret, Clyde. Highly recommended, lots of experience in schools. I have a lot of confidence in them. And we did talk to local technology coordinators that work with them, and they are hired.
Is there any concern about our application for the E-rate?
No, I
Just
talked
at the
to,
time.
I've been talking to our consultant a lot. He's very thorough. I got a thumbs up from him today that he thought our matrix looked really great. That he thought it was thorough, and our decision is justifiable on paper. So,
Very good.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
So in your folder, there are two different matrices here. The first matrix is the hardware matrix here, where it compares the different bids that we received, and TCS received the highest rating based upon the E-rate matrix. And then the second matrix is the service matrix. And as you can see here, the column for DataServe is the column that was awarded with the highest score through that matrix. Any questions on any of these items for new business items A, B, or C?
So is our cost the 78,000 and the 13, or is it 85% of that?
It's 15%.
Or 15%.
15%. So it's
It's
the
15.
rate is a big savings for towns. This is a very good thing.
So it's 15% of the 78,000.
it's 11,707.
I'm also, this year we got approved to pay for some of that expense for things CSC. We got approved to use ESSER funds for that, if you guys remember. So I'm hoping to do that again next year with whatever's left after E-rate. That's the goal.
Actually, we will have leftover E-rate money. We're not spending all of it. We don't have to.
And when that occurs, then we just return money, or we just haven't?
We gotta use it or
Submit.
lose it, but we got another year to do this dance all over.
Okay. All right, very good. Any other questions? Hearing none, let's have the roll for action items A, B, and C.
I move.
I'll second.
Sorry, we do need a first and a second. I jumped the gun, sorry about that. All right, now we'll have the roll.
Mr. Edwards,
Yes.
Mr. Paloma,
Yes.
Mrs. Grant,
Yes.
Mrs. Sully,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes. Very good, thanks for all your hard work, David. Looks like it's definitely gonna pay off for Townsend, for sure. At this point in time, I would like to entertain a motion that we move into executive session for two purposes. One is to confer with our attorney for the public body concerning an employee, and the second is to consider the compensation of public employees. Is there a motion that we move into executive session? Moved by Ken, seconded by Dora, move into executive session at 5:30 after the roll statement.
Mr. Edwards,
Yes.
Mrs. Grant,
Yes.
Mr. Palumbo,
Yes.
Mrs. Lee,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes. And I would ask that Brian and Kelsey remain, and thank you, Steve, very much, and thank you.